Yo, check it, got that new fire straight from the underground. What you need? This that real hip hop.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has ordered hundreds of top military leaders to gather at a Marine Corps base in Virginia next week. It's not clear why the meeting has been called. More than a dozen people familiar with the matter telling the Washington Post the directive was sent to nearly every top U.S. military commander around the world. That includes officials in conflict zones stationed throughout Europe, the Middle East, and the Asia-Pacific region. According to the Post, every source it spoke with said it could not recall a defense secretary ever ordering such a large gathering of military leaders on such short notice. Joining us now, retired U.S. Army Lieutenant General Mark Hertling and President Emeritus of the Council on Foreign Relations, Richard Haass. Good morning to you both. General, I'll start with you. First of all, how unusual is this in your experience, and what do you suspect is going on here?
Yeah, Willie, if this is usual and this is unusual, we're way out in terms of unusual in this one. It is never, that I know of, ever occurred in the history of the military where everyone is brought in. Now, certainly during wartime, generals commanding in a theater are brought in individually with their team, or the president or the secretary of defense visits them at their theater of operation. But I've never seen anything like this before, and it just seems extremely bizarre and strange.
Well, General, let me just ask you strategically, how stupidly dangerous is this?
It's pretty dangerous, Joe. What I'd say is, a lot of people are looking at it from the general's perspective, them thinking, what the heck are we going to hear? Because I don't think from what I've talked to some of my colleagues that are still active, they don't know what this is about. So it could be about a shifting national security strategy. It could be cuts to the General Officer Corps. Secretary Hegseth has mentioned that several times. It could be about the upcoming budget stalemate, or it could be concerns over information leaks or press leaks.
But General, don't they have communication systems where they can do that? So,
all right, people. In about 2 days, 800 generals, roughly. That's just they're spitballing about 800, but all of them, all over the world, wherever they are going to gather in one place. Unheard of, historically, as far as I know, unheard of. There's no way to even try to sugarcoat this and say everything's hunky-dory, everything's fine. Something is going on, and they're planning accordingly. But this wasn't kept a secret. This is shared with the public. It wasn't like they did this in secret. Do you know how many meetings that they have in secret? It's not with all the generals typically, no. But can you just fathom how many meetings happen without us knowing? And when I say us, I mean the general population of the world, let alone the United States of America. We know nothing. Typically, they let us know that this is happening, which means there are bigger things in play. Because you cannot say you did not know. Let's get back to it real quick. I do want to finish this.
We can actually keep our generals and our admirals in the field where they are needed?
Certainly, Joe, and they're called secure video teleconferences. It is the same thing as a secure computer, not Snapchat, not Signals app. This is no kidding secure stuff. It's just like a SIPR computer. But the problem is when you move that many general officers to Washington, it's not just the generals that are concerned. I would suggest that both our allies and our foes are thinking to themselves, what the hell is going on in Washington? When a general comes into the Pentagon to talk to his boss, the Secretary of Defense. No one really knows it. There may be indicators, but when you're talking about publicizing over 800 senior leaders, commanders, as well as their senior enlisted advisors, their sergeant majors or their Navy chief petty officers, this is something that's going to garner attention where people are going to say, what's going on with the U.S. military? What are they planning? Why is this so important that you're pulling 800, as suggested by the Washington Post, or more into the Washington, D.C. area? It's undescribable.
Yeah, and it's not just foreign militaries that are confused. Our own military is confused. Talking to some of these generals who have no idea why this is happening and are not sure why there's such secrecy. But we should note this. The military...
Come on, be real. Just be real with yourself for a moment. You really think they're going to tell you? Come on. Even if they had a small chance of there being donuts and coffee at the meeting, you think they're going to tell you? No, they're not.
Has different levels of classification. This one, we are told, is being deemed a secret level, which is not the highest level, because there had been some speculation considering our force posture outside Venezuela and the attacks on boats there. Could this be some sort of operational planning meeting? That seems unlikely because it would be classified at a higher level, Richard Haas. So there's some speculation in Washington, people I talked to yesterday who were downright puzzled at this, that this could be just sort of almost like a pep talk. We know that Defense Secretary Hegseth is one of the things President Trump likes about him most is he's very good on Fox News and the like. The language about war fighters, a lot of it's PR campaign. And there's a suggestion here, taken in tandem with the edict from the Pentagon last week about reporters there only reporting on things the Pentagon tells them to.
Look at that stare. Look at that stare. Just look at the gaze. Hegseth has this look of, you can count on me. Meanwhile, Trump has this look of, I need you to get the job done. That's what this says to me right here. That's what this says to me. Continue.
This might be just a messaging meeting, but a very, very strange one.
And I think that's the most likely answer. If it were operational, you wouldn't have people globally. It would be more localized.
There's a space force
my own sense, it's almost a cultural thing. Hegseth wants to change the culture of the military against DEI in favor of quote-unquote war fighting and so forth. He also wants to assert his authority because there's been a lot of pushback. So my sense is it's more like that. But it doesn't change any of the ideas that this is expensive. It's potentially risky because people aren't at their jobs. It's just a stunt, and it looks truly excessive. There's easy ways to do this. We have fought wars in recent years, by the way, without people leaving their bases. That's why we have these secure video systems. When I was at the White House, we went through the entire Gulf War. Most of it was run that way. You don't need to do something like this. So this sounds to me something much more personal.
Yeah, even some Republicans rolling their eyes at this yesterday, saying that Hegseth, again, he and his senior leadership team, very depleted, perhaps out of their depth. Richard.
So, as it stands right now, there are, from all over the world, people are tapping in right now with their military leaders. And they're saying, hey, listen, I'm your general. You guys hold it down for a little while. I'll be gone. We're going to go for a powwow and we'll be back. We'll be back with news. Who knows what type of news, but it will be news. We'll be back. How do you take that? How do you feel about that? Like, literally, how do you, as an individual, feel about that? Because is this the first time you're hearing about this here on my fancy little podcast or whatever this is, platform where I use a microphone and I talk to you guys? Like, how do you feel about that? Seriously, though, like, all jokes aside, how do you feel about that? That right now, the United States of America is gathering all of its top military personnel to have a conversation. Some people are probably unbothered. Some people are probably super freaked out and panicked. Then there's other people who don't even know that this is happening. So many levels to this. But it all boils down to, what does this mean for us? What do we do? Because we can't do anything until we're properly informed. It doesn't matter what they're planning or what they're doing. We as a people can do nothing until we are properly informed. You can prepare for all sorts of things, but you don't know what to utilize until it's time. I mean, oh my gosh. I really don't know. As I sit here and think about it, today's Sunday. It's about 9:30 right now. I really don't know what to do. I don't know what this means. I don't. And am I a little fearful? Yeah, bro. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. I am a little fearful. I'm fearful of the not knowing, but knowing just how big this is. It's like the Great Wall of China, right? We all know about the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China is huge. I want to say it's about 13,000 miles long. 13,000 miles. From California to New York is only about 3,000. You see how when you put things into perspective, it kind of blows your mind for a second, like, oh wow, hold on, wait. Yeah, I don't have any idea what to do right now. I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna keep making videos. I'm gonna keep you guys updated as best as possible. Because other than that, I don't know what to do. It's a scary thought, though. It is. It is. It is for me. It is. Do I pull all my savings out of the the current banking system we have? Is there is that in trouble? Is there another collapse coming? Are we at odds with a country? Is there a country preparing to attack us? What are we doing? What is happening? Because this is not just coffee and donuts, people. This is not just a check-in. This is not one of those. But they let us know that it's happening. That's the biggest thing for me. They let us in on this. It's not being kept a secret. It kind of probably would have been hard to keep it a secret. Maybe they wanted to keep it a secret. Maybe, right? Maybe. But then once you start seeing vehicle after vehicle and helicopters and airplanes and all these things convening at Quantico, someone's loose lips are going to say something and then it's going to come out anyway. So maybe they're just trying to get ahead of it. I don't know. I really don't know. Um, just be prepared for whatever. Just be prepared for whatever. This isn't to shock you. This isn't one of those type of things. This is to inform you. Just, I believe in keeping the people informed as best as possible. Yeah. So you know as much as I do. And if you know more than I do, let me know something. My email is always open. But until next time, people, on Tuesday, well, probably Wednesday, we'll know something for real. This is crazy. Are we calling this Red October? Is that what we're doing? Are we calling this Red October? Like, I don't even know what to do with this. But for right now, man, hug your loved ones. Start making sure your money is where it needs to be. And yeah, keep your eyes and ears open. Peace.
Perfect.